Colchester rolled out the red carpet for Her Majesty the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh when the royal couple made a flying visit to the historic borough in November. It was almost 2 decades since the Queen last visited the town, and now, like then, well-wishers turned out in their thousands to give her and her consort a royal welcome that befitted the occasion. But before the royal cavalcade rolled into town, Colchester's central area was given a last-minute wash and brush up by council workmen. Essex police were also very much in evidence. With any VIP visit, security was a major consideration, and preparing for the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh made it doubly so. Crowd control barriers began going up at the crack of dawn and eventually stretched as far as Man's Music Shop. Head Street, the High Street, and North Hill were also closed to traffic. Last-minute security checks were also well underway. An estimated 5,000 spectators, many of them not born when the Queen visited Colchester in 1985, lined the approach roads, everyone hoping for more than a fleeting glance of the royal couple. Some had even begun taking up their positions 5 hours earlier to ensure the best vantage points. Shortly after the town hall clock rang out the midday chimes, police motorcycle outriders on secondment from the Met appeared at the bottom of North Hill to the excitement of everyone. And then, to the distinctive peal of the bells from St. Peter's Church, a maroon Bentley carrying Her Majesty the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh was sighted. The royal visit to Colchester had begun. In traditional style, the royals repaid the waiting well-wishers with royal waves and smiles. The long cold wait on a November morning was quickly forgotten. Outside we live in, Her Majesty, in her stunning red outfit, topped with an eye-catching bright red hat, stepped out of the royal car. Lord Petre then introduced the royal couple to Mr. Andrew Streeter, the High Sheriff of Essex, and Mrs. Streeter, to Councillor Chris Manning Press, Chairman of Essex County Council, and Mrs. Manning Press, Mr. Stuart Ashurst, the Chief Executive of Essex County Council, and Mrs. Ashurst, Councillor John Balcley, Mayor of Colchester Borough Council, and Mrs. Balcley, Mr. Adrian Pritchard, the Chief Executive of Colchester Borough Council, and Mrs. Pritchard, and Mr. Bob Russell, MP, the Member of Parliament for Colchester, and his wife. And finally, Mr. David Stevens, the Chief Constable, and Mrs. Stevens. With the Duke of Edinburgh and the Mayor, Her Majesty crisscrossed the High Street, exchanging brief conversations with school children and adults alike. Many of those greeting her had brought along flowers, which they duly presented to the royal couple. Escorted by the mayor, the royal couple entered the town, where a civic luncheon was laid on for them, and around 100 specially invited guests, representing many of the town's voluntary and community organisations. They were also introduced to Terry Barber, the head chef at Le Tolbooth restaurant, who supervised the luncheon. He was in charge of the catering in 1985, when the Queen last visited the town. Just before 2 o'clock, police motorcyclists took up their position outside the town hall, causing increased excitement among spectators who had waited in the cold to catch another glimpse of the royal couple. The crowds had grown by the time the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh had emerged from the town hall, and it was here that the royal couple said their goodbyes before departing for the University of Essex. On arriving at the university, they were greeted by the Chancellor, Lord Phillips of Sudbury, and the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ida Crewe, amid a large crowd of students, staff and people from the surrounding area. The Queen was at the university to unveil a plaque to commemorate its 40th anniversary. The plaque was inscribed with the words spoken by the university's founding Vice-Chancellor, Sir Albert Sloman, in the early 1960s. He said, "A university should provide an experience of living as well as an opportunity for learning."
May I invite you now to unveil the plaque that marks this day.
During the hour-long visit, the royal couple were also treated to a display of some of the university's cutting-edge research projects in the Albert Sloman Library. Here they met Robert Butler, the librarian whom the Queen met during her first visit to the university in 1985. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh enjoyed the antics of a robotic dog football team, both supporting the red team, which went on to win. All too soon, it was time for Her Majesty and His Royal Highness to bring this royal appointment to a close. Their visit, like that made 19 years ago, will remain in the town's memory for many more years to come.